Hi, I'm Dr. Deeptee Jain, and I'm a spine surgeon. I get asked all the time about spinal stenosis. So let's talk about spinal stenosis, what it is, and why it can be so disabling. So here's a model of the spine. And in the spinal canal, the nerves go through the spinal canal. So as the spine becomes arthritic, or sometimes for other reasons as well, the nerves in the canal can be super pinched. And there are different locations in that canal where the nerves can get pinched. Typically, spinal stenosis, now stenosis just means pinching of the nerve. But when people reference spinal stenosis, they're typically referencing pinching of the central spinal canal, where all the nerve roots go through. That can create what's called neurogenic claudication. And what that means is that all the nerves get very, very pinched in the middle. And that makes it very, very difficult to walk. So what patients describe is that they don't have very much pain when they're sitting, but the second that they start walking, they tend to have severe pain in their back that radiates down their leg. And that pain tends to subside when either they lean over or when they sit down. That's a very common description of what neurogenic claudication presents at, or what spinal stenosis presents at. There's also what's called a shopping cart sign. In other words, a patient will say to me, "Doc, I can go to Target, but only when I'm leaning on the shopping cart am I able to walk through the store." And that is very, very classic. This condition is probably one of the most disabling conditions that I treat. It can be very, very painful, very, very symptomatic, and it's one of the conditions that patients do well from surgery from, because the anatomy is often very well defined, and it's very obvious often what the source of that pain is. So when we can see the anatomic problem on the imaging, it becomes much more successful if we're operating on it. Neurogenic claudication is a really big word that references spinal stenosis. Spinal stenosis is what we see on the pictures. That's what we see with our eyeballs. Neurogenic claudication references the symptoms of having spinal stenosis. So if you like this video, feel free to hit like below. And of course, always hit subscribe, and you'll get a lot more information about neck and back pain.